The Supreme Court has allowed the use of green crackers in the national capital between the 18th and the 21st of October, basically during the Diwali period, but conditions apply. It has green flagged the use of crackers for Diwali. The Supreme Court has said they can be used, but there are timings, balancing sensitivities with a traditional spike in air pollution during the early winter months in Delhi. Pollution always rises at this time, but is this green signal really a red alert? The Supreme Court has basically responded to the Delhi government's plea asking for the conditional and partial use of crackers during this time, and the Supreme Court has said, yes, okay.
Delhi and NCR region will be able to celebrate Diwali with green crackers this year. The Supreme Court, responding to Centre and Delhi government's plea, has allowed green crackers on October 20th and October 21st, but with strict conditions. The timing for bursting crackers has been restricted from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. with instructions to authorities to implement it. Patrol teams will conduct regular checks to see that the guidelines are followed. No crackers from outside NCR will be allowed in Delhi, and e-commerce websites cannot sell crackers. The court also said that these measures were aimed at balancing the sentiments of celebrations and the right to clean air. Reacting to the order, Delhi Chief Minister Gupta called it a win for Delhi citizens.
धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगी माननीय कोर्ट का कि उन्होंने लाखों भारतीयों के दिल की आवाज़ का सम्मान किया, थोड़े समय के लिए सही, परंतु ग्रीन क्रैकर्स दिल्ली में जलाने की इजाज़त दी। इससे विशेष रूप से हमारे बच्चों को एक सुकून, एक खुशी मिलेगी।
But the opinion is divided on green crackers. Are they really a step in the right direction? Experts say that these crackers cut pollution by about 40% and don't eliminate it. The green crackers also emit dangerous ultrafine particles which cause respiratory issues like asthma, eye allergies, etc. These crackers also release toxic gases like nitrogen oxide.
In one word, it's an oxymoron that we call them green crackers. These so-called green crackers emit 30% lower PM 2.5 compared to the traditional crackers, and only because of that reason and some composition change they have been called green crackers.
The opposition has also been training guns at the BJP government over lack of preparedness to deal with pollution.
ये सरकार डस्ट पोल्यूशन कैसे कंट्रोल करेगी? प्रदूषण बढ़ने लगा, किसी को नहीं पता। व्हीकल पोल्यूशन को कैसे कंट्रोल करेगी? किसी को नहीं पता। दिल्ली के अंदर ग्रीन वार रूम कब शुरू होगा? किसी को नहीं पता। तो मेरा इस सरकार से निवेदन है, एक, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो फैसला दिया है उसको सख्ती के साथ इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाए। दूसरा, विंटर एक्शन प्लान तुरंत घोषित किया जाए, क्योंकि प्रदूषण बढ़ने लगा है और सरकार सो रही है।
The Delhi government says it has already started working on tackling the Delhi annual winter pollution crisis. Environment Minister said that cloud seeding is set to start soon.
क्लाउड सीडिंग में भी आपको हम बताना चाहते हैं, जब हमें मौसम विभाग ग्रीन सिग्नल देगा अगले 2 दिन में, 3 दिन में, तो इसको ब्लास्ट करा के जो क्लाउड सीडिंग है उसका भी एक सैंपल लिया जाएगा।
The Supreme Court nod to green crackers comes a day after GRAP 1 measures were implemented in the national capital, as its air started to worsen with a dip in temperatures. This year has been a pleasant break for Delhiwalas from choking pollution till now. Delhi has breathed its cleanest air between January and September this year since 2018. There has not been a single day with 400 plus AQI, which is tagged severe category, and the capital saw 75 days of satisfactory air this year, also highest since 2018. How will these numbers change as the winter sets in? Delhi will wait with a bated breath. NDTV Bureau Report.
And joining me live now, Neoma Gupta, spokesperson with the Delhi BJP, the ruling party in the capital. Bharati Chaturvedi is an environmentalist. Welcome to you both. Thanks for being with me.
Good evening.
Ms. Gupta, the first question that is going to arise, and this is a victory for your government in Delhi because it was a plea that was put forward before the Supreme Court for the allowance of green crackers. So that is a big thing for your party. The question is, how is this going to be enforced? Because ultimately, even with the ban in place, the use of crackers has always been there. How is the enforcement of green cracker usage going to take place? That's an enormous task, and it has never been successful in the past.
Good evening. First of all, BJP welcomes the Supreme Court decision to allow the use of green firecrackers in Delhi during Diwali. We completely agree with the Chief Justice when he said that, to take a balanced approach, permitting it in moderation while not compromising with the environment. This is exactly what our party has been saying all these years. And this is the first time we are in power where we'll be enforcing this. When it comes to your query was how difficult or easy will it to be to execute this? We are going to take every possible step in our capacity to ensure a corrective, disciplined way of getting green crackers into play. In fact, the few steps which have already been taken are like temporary license only to sellers of these green crackers, and if there are any unauthorized sellers found selling these firecrackers, their license will be revoked. Special QR codes on the crackers to ensure only genuine goods are sold. And in consultation with the district administration, the police will form patrol teams, including officers from the State Pollution Control Board, to monitor designated points of sale. No crackers from outside Delhi NCR can be sold here. Petroleum and Explosive Safety Organization and the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute that comes under the CSIR will be inspecting the manufacture of crackers and ensure that these green crackers are formulated and sold. Official cracker sales will only last for 3 days, as your colleague had said in this thing.
Okay.
Please understand, enough research has showed that there are multiplicity of causes of pollution, and green crackers has not been a cause of it.
Okay,
Hence,
so
we filed the plea.
this Supreme Court order comes at a time when, it coincidentally comes at a time when the pollution is up. That always happens at this time of year. There are a multiplicity of factors that increase pollution in Delhi's air at this point of time. And that's the reason why GRAP 1 norms have also been actioned by the Delhi government.
Yes.
Ms. Chaturvedi, even if all of the things that Neoma Gupta says are enforced, accountability is fixed, the timing conditions are enforced actively, no fake crackers are sold, people abide by the rules, would you be okay with that?
The first thing is not about me being okay or not being okay. I think what we have to understand is we have a city of 20 million, largely highly uncooperative and highly ill disciplined citizens. I mean, even during COVID, people were secretly going out for walks and things like that. And we can't even be bothered to segregate our waste. So, when a government or a Supreme Court has a policy or a norm, in any part of the world, it is expected that the citizens also show some cooperation. So my concern is in such a large city, I mean, like Delhi, it's very difficult to implement anything, particularly because we're just very, very large and we're very, very ill disciplined. We're not socially engineered to respect any kind of larger ecosystem. And so I kind of feel that no matter who comes out, even when crackers were banned, people were still burning them. Even when they said you can die if you don't wear a helmet, people don't wear helmets. I think we generally don't care and we just say, "Ke Ram Bharose, we'll go ahead." So I feel that it's not about me being happy or not happy. I don't matter. I think what matters is that we're dealing with a city where we have a suboptimal situation. We're trying to balance social norms and absolute environmental imperatives. And I think it's a huge challenge. In fact, I think it's almost impossible to do that.
Yeah.
Because,
No, I agree.
you know, we
See,
just
look,
the
there,
sheer
there is
volume
a
of green crackers will cause the pollution.
there is a
You know,
whole
20
political
million
aspect to it,
people.
which I don't want to get into because, you know, once you get into the political aspect of it, there will always be examples of every party having indulged in this kind of thing in the past
No,
when
it's
it comes
not
to sentiments,
about
etc.
politics. The
But
sheer
no, I
volume.
agree.
I mean,
I
look
agree
at
with
our
what you're
city.
saying. Because the data, Ms. Gupta, suggests that even when the ban has been in place, the previous government was simply unable to enforce any of those rules. Now, I know you will turn around and say, but we are not the previous government. We'll show you how
No,
it's done,
I won't. I
etc.
won't do
But the
that.
fact of the matter is, it is very difficult to enforce, ma'am. Even talking strictly about green crackers, if they are genuine green crackers, they cut pollution by about 40% when they are used. But most green crackers sold, according to the data in front of us, is that about 65% of things labeled green crackers are not actually green crackers. They are fake labeled. It is very difficult to do this kind of thing and enforce it.
So, you know, as ma'am was saying that we have a huge population in Delhi, and will this fly by or no is $1 million question. Having said that, in the past many years, there was a complete deniability of crackers whatsoever. And today we have given an option of green crackers. So I'm hoping the replacement theory comes into play, because when you have a practical solution, which is very much in play, and it will kick in. And I'm reasonably sure, I'm not fully confident, obviously, but I'm reasonably sure it will. Having said that, green crackers over here, we as the government of Delhi will do every possible step to ensure that these are authentic crackers which are going to be sold at designated areas, and people will go there because we will make the information privy to them. So we are hoping full cooperation from the Delhi people.
You're hoping for a lot, Ms. Gupta. You know that Delhi is a
I
wonderful
understand,
city
while
because
I
it,
understand the cynicism,
depending
while I
on
understand.
people's cooperation and discipline in this country, and I have great respect for all my citizens, is hoping for a great deal, especially
Well,
during the
my
festive
hope
season.
is way more, because I feel Delhi is out there to celebrate Diwali with full fervor and with full cooperation about the environment. So I'm not that cynical on that. Sorry about that.
Okay, no, it's good not to be cynical, and I hope people are accountable.
Yes.
But I just tend to be a little skeptical when it
You
comes
know,
to
a
cooperation,
small
because
thing.
we have seen it. We have seen it in the last couple
Yeah.
of years itself. We have seen how people do it, because also there is a sentiment attached to it. You know, when you ban something, then people want to do it even more, and they've demonstrated
That's
how
exactly what I
they are
said.
willing to do that.
Yeah.
So okay, Ms. Chaturvedi, on the polluting aspect of it, is there really a thing called green crackers? Yes, there is a thing called green crackers. You know, they've been allowed in certain parts of the world. You know, rather than using fully polluting crackers, using green crackers, is that at least one way better than a full unbanning of use of fireworks?
You know, the way I see it is a little different, because while you have a 30% reduction, you still have ultrafine particles, you
Yeah.
still have toxics. The real issue, the way that we need to see it, which we don't see, is that we have highly vulnerable communities. You have pregnant women, you have people, senior citizens above 60, you have asthmatics, you have young children, and then you have people with these chronic ailments, you know, cardiac issues and so on. So, what worries me is the shock load, because what we know for a fact is that you can actually get a shock load even with a 30% less pollution. Because even that 60% or 70% or 30% even can actually, depending on where you are, give you a huge dose of pollutants, and that can trigger a number of things. It can actually add to a lot of pollution, and that's called a shock load. So I'm really worried about people like this. And my understanding is that
Okay.
while you have one constituency that will buy green crackers or not, you have another constituency that can completely collapse. I mean, someone like me, I live off steroids. I'm extremely asthmatic. So I think, what can you possibly do? Because now the court has given us this order. To me, this balance is suboptimal. But I think one of the things we can look at is, just like we look at heat and we say, let's make cool spaces. I don't see why we can't. We still have the time. Make a lot of clean air spaces. It doesn't take a lot. You put the air purifier, you let vulnerable people pre register, you have enough primary schools and more. Make that 2 more days holiday. let people sit in air which is cleaner, especially children, especially pregnant women. I mean, at least pilot it, see the public feedback, and then roll it out for the rest of the peak pollution days. And next year, I mean, give us pockets of clean air, give citizens who are particularly vulnerable, so that then you, since you've already given people the pleasure of burning firecrackers, let's find a solution for these people to prevent these shock loads.
So these are
or at least reduce their
parallel
impact.
actions that could perhaps be taken, and maybe even the government is thinking about them. But Ms. Gupta, coming to a slightly more general point, which is that it was earlier in the year, the beginning of this year, when your party stormed the power in Delhi with a very a landslide victory in Delhi. One of the big planks on which you won the election was on pollution. I remember that pollution was a big emotive issue here in the national capital. You've had a very lucky run in the first part of the year because, heavy rains have meant that AQI has been the best it has been in I think, since 2018. So, you've been lucky on that front. But I have to give your government credit. Work has been done as far as the Yamuna is concerned. Certain other steps have also been taken by your government, which means that pollution has been at a record low.
Yes.
But, this kind of thing will mean that people will blame you anyway. Now is when the pollution is going to start, and it's not because of crackers. But then people will point a finger at you and say, look, you unbanned crackers and the pollution came back.
Okay, having said that, luck definitely is a very good point, but there's been a lot of strategy, execution, which has been played from the day we came into power. When it came to steps like, I'll just give you a few quick examples.
I agree.
Water sprinklers, micro mist spray systems, which were at electrical poles, and they were along verges in like 13 pollution hotspots just to suppress the dust. Mechanical sweepers on every construction zone. And a fundamental thing, because I've been debating on this topic, especially on your channel, relentlessly, the major contributors of pollution have been cars, construction, and there have been multiple guidelines and steps which have been taken to control these situations. So we've been taking corrective steps from the word go. As a result of it, pollution has been very, very calm and controlled. So yes, the rain gods have been very, very kind to Delhi, but all these steps have had a very significant impact to play, including like something small, like like the all-rise commercial, institutional, hospitality buildings in Delhi. They have been told to install anti-smog guns.
Right.
So, as ma'am is saying, first of all, I wish her a safe Diwali, and I'm reasonably sure green crackers, which are going to be only used for a certain duration, should not have an impact on the AQI as per the research data shown even by major scientists in India.
Let's hope
so.
that with the unbanning of these crackers, it happens in a responsible way. People adhere to the timings and the restrictions that have been imposed by the Supreme Court. Doesn't become a free-for-all like we saw in the last few years. Everyone has a right to celebrate. There is no question about that. So I wish the both of you, Ms. Chaturvedi and Ms. Gupta, advance happy Deepavali.
And you are very safe Diwali.
And thank you very much for your time here on India.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.